Class of 2017, now that we've talked about your life after high school, we need to talk about funding your future. So we're going to talk about financial aid. Every single senior will need to fund their future, whether you go to a four-year college, community college, career technical education, or to the military. No matter what your plans are after high school, you need to fund your future. And we need to start with filling out financial aid documents. Our school is part of Race to Submit, where we have a competition with other high schools to see what percentage of our high school seniors are going to fill out their financial aid documents. Last year, the class of 2016 had a rate of 69% of the students filed financial aid documents. This year, for class of 2017, our goal is for 80% of students to file financial aid documents. But in reality, 100% of our students should be filing financial aid because it's free and it's easy. We're here to help you file your financial aid documents. And the good news is that many of you will be surprised from what you're going to qualify for. And now that you have this account active, every year that you go to college, all you have to do is log back into your account, update your information. You're always going to have this account. So some students will file the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. And we're going to talk to you about creating your FSA ID, a federal ID, about applying every year, some of the common mistakes that you can avoid to make the application process fast and easy. And we're going to show you how to do that line by line. And then some students will also file or will file the California DREAM Act. And we're going to show you how to do that too. The good news for seniors is that there are prizes. There is an incentive for you to file your financial aid documents. Last year we had a celebration called FAFSA Frenzy, and we are going to have this celebration again for you this year. The only difference is that this celebration will be much better for you since we've already done it once. The prizes will be better, the food will be better, the entire frenzy will be better. So we do have prizes for students. Every single student that submits a financial aid document will receive an additional ticket for graduation. Now, the sooner you file with no mistakes, the more tickets you'll receive. And we'll have that information in detail for you very soon. So some students will be able to receive up to 4 or 5 additional graduation tickets. There's also going to be other prizes such as yearbooks, laptops, gift cards to Krispy Kreme, In-N-Out, Starbucks, prom tickets, grad night tickets, Paloma Valley gear. We're also going to be going to buy other items such as possibly a Keurig or a mini fridge, something that you can use in your dorm room. So you want to be able to file your FAFSA. Students are going to receive raffle tickets, and they're going to be able to place their raffle tickets for the prize that they want to win. So like I said, it's going to be a great celebration, and it's something that you should be doing anyway, is filing that FAFSA. So we're going to get started on that soon. So let's take a quick minute to look at this. This is some information that has been gathered for you, and it's about education. So the more education you have, the more money you'll make over your lifetime. And so congratulations to you guys, because soon you will have your high school diploma. And then, of course, everyone knows that you need some type of skills, experience, and education after high school in order to find the best employment opportunities. So which document should you file? There are 2 financial aid applications. The first is the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, and it looks just like this. Now, students that were born in the United States that are U.S. citizen or legal residents should file the FAFSA. Students that may be undocumented, students that have a Social Security card through Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival will fill out the California DREAM Act, or CADA. If you are not sure which form you should fill out, check with Miss Roberts or with Miss Solis, and we'll be able to let you know which form to fill out. All of your information is confidential. If you do fill out the California DREAM Act, information is not released on the federal government website, but talk to us today and we will help you privately. All of your information will be confidential. Also, these are both available online, so they're really easy to fill out. We're going to be having follow-up workshops. On November 15th, we're going to have a follow-up. We're going to sit down with you and your parents and help you guys finalize your financial aid documents if you have not already done so. So again, who should apply for financial aid? Every single senior. Whether you plan to go to college, university, vocational, private school, the military, even if you go directly to work, have this free account available, if of course because you want those prizes, but also because if you change your mind, you already have that financial aid there waiting for you. And it's recommended that even students that are in the military, and of course athletes need to have it also, because if you're getting an athletic scholarship from NCAA, it's required that you fill out financial aid documents. And students of all income levels, because there's brand new scholarships even for families that make up to $156,000 a year. There's middle class scholarship for you. And there's a lot of colleges that will award merit aid, not based on your parents' income, but based on your GPA. But the number one rule to be eligible is you must file financial aid documents. So it's one application, either the FAFSA or the DREAM Act, and with that you can qualify. You'll find out if you qualify for federal Pell Grant, Cal Grant, A, B, or C, other types of grants, university grants, work study, and much more with just one application. And I just want to remind you that if you have any questions about which form you should fill out, see Ms. Roberts or see me, Ms. Solis. And you cannot fill out both applications. You can only fill out one or the other. So the first thing that we're going to do is work on the FAFSA, that free application for federal student aid. And that website is www.fafsa.ed.gov. That is the only secure website. If you go on another website and they are charging you, you are on the wrong website. This is the free application for federal student aid, so you should not be paying. Don't ever go to .com, because you're going to be entering in private, confidential information like your social security number, your parents' social, your home address, your income information, your parents' income information, and you want to make sure that you're giving that only to the federal government on the secure website. So here we are, and this is you, the student, and you're going to enter in your FSA ID information if you already created one. If not, you're going to click right here on Create an FSA ID. Once you do that, it's going to bring us to this screen, which reminds you to create your new FSA ID, and we're going to click here on Create. You're going to enter in an email. And you're going to use that professional Gmail account that you created, something that's not linked to your school Gmail, because you're going to need access to this email once you graduate from high school and every year that you are in college so that you can update your information. So you're going to enter that email here. Make sure you don't make any mistakes on that email. You're going to confirm it here. You're going to create a username and a password. And your username, once you create it, they're going to let you know if it's available, or maybe somebody else is already using your favorite username. So you're going to have to create a new one. And every time you create an account, keep track of the information on that form, your username and your password. Now on the FSA ID, your password cannot contain any part of your name. Okay, so be aware of that. And so the stronger your password is, they'll let you know down here. It's going to be a combination of numbers, uppercase letters, lowercase, special characters, 8 to 30 characters. Okay, and then you're going to confirm your password, and you're going to click on I am 13 years of age or older. Then you're going to click on Continue. It's going to bring you here to this site. And we've already done your identity, so now we're on to your profile. You're going to enter in your social security number. Do not guess on this number. If you guess, if you make a mistake and enter the number in incorrectly, and you try to correct it later, it's not as easy as logging back in and changing that number. If you try and do that, that's a red flag to the federal government that you're trying to change a social security number. So I hope you have a picture of your social security card on your phone. Your phone's locked, so it can't get lost. and open up that picture and enter in your social security number exactly as it appears there. Then you're going to enter in your birth date, a 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year, your first name, your middle initial, and your last name. Make sure that you enter your legal name as it appears on your social security card. Do not guess. There are some students that have 2 last names listed on their social security card, and this entire time that they've been in school, they've only been using 1 last name. I can't tell you how many times that happens year after year. If we cannot match you by the name that's listed on your social security card, it's going to hold up your financial aid packet, and we don't want to do anything to hold up your money. So make sure you're entering it exactly as it appears on your social. And here, of course, you can only enter in your middle initial, so don't worry if your social has your middle name written out. Go ahead and just enter that first name of your middle initial and make sure you're looking at that social. We've also seen that last names have been spelled differently. I've seen Vasquez with a Z on a birth certificate and Vasquez with an S on a social security card. Whatever's on your social security card, that is your legal name. Next, you're going to select your challenge questions. And here you can just select from the drop-down menu, and then you can create your own challenge questions for question 3 and 4. You can go ahead and take some time to do that. And then you're going to write down a significant date in your life. I put down the date that my parents got married, or the date that I received my cat, because I love my cat. But make sure that you write down the significant date in your life, because also a lot of students remember what date they wrote down. Once you do this, you're going to click on Continue. Now that you've created your FSA ID, you're going to come back to the FAFSA website, fafsa.ed.gov, and you're going to go ahead and log in, and you're going to enter in that username and password that you just created from your FSA ID. Your FSA ID is a secure way for the federal government to know that you are the person logging into the FAFSA and filling out your information. It's also a way for the federal government to verify your identity so that you can sign this application electronically. Once you enter your username and password, you're going to click on Next. And we're going to come here to this screen. So it says welcome, and it'll say your name, and you're going to be applying for the 2017-2018 FAFSA, because that's the year that you will be in college, from 2017 to 2018. So click on Start 2017-2018 FAFSA. Now it's going to ask you to create a 4-digit save key. It's a 4-digit number. It's very similar to a PIN number, a bank number. You're going to create this number. You're not going to share it with anybody because it is your confidential information. And so you're going to do that, and you're going to hopefully jot down your save key or memorize this save key so that you don't forget it for later use. And then you're going to click on Next. Here you're going to see an introduction page, and this just goes over all the parts of the financial aid. How can you get help completing your FAFSA? Well, we have help for you today. We also are going to have a follow-up workshop on November 15th. You can also email your counselor for more information, and we will be glad to help you. You can read about how many steps does it take to complete, and we can actually see the steps here. It'll be your information. Then you're going to enter in the colleges that you want this information to go to. They're going to verify that you are dependent of your parents' information, some financial information, then you'll sign and submit. Then you'll get a confirmation. How long will it take to complete the FAFSA? Well, it depends. Every single student has a different situation. I prefer that you complete it and that it is accurate with no errors before you submit it. If you submit this application today with errors, we will have to wait about 5 days while it is processing before we can come back in and make corrections. Some corrections are harder to make than others, like changing your name or changing your social security number if there's mistakes on here. So we prefer that you fill it out to the best of your ability, have somebody review it before you submit it. As long as you submit it between now and the end of November, that's what we're hoping for, then it should be considered priority funding. Can I save my FAFSA if I can't finish it? Yes, you can. We'll show you how to do that. Documents needed to complete the FAFSA. I have sent you that email with a list of documents that you're going to need to complete the FAFSA. It was in your email sent by me, Miss Solis. Hopefully you have your documents today. Hopefully you have a picture of your documents so that you can complete the FAFSA to your best of the ability. And then of course we talked about the FSA ID to sign the FAFSA. Your parents also need to create an FSA ID. They will have one FSA ID for all of their children, and each student will have their very own FSA ID. If you have an older brother or sister that recently went to college, your parents may already have an FSA ID, and you're going to need to get that information. If they don't remember, we can have them reset it or send for their username and password. You can also ask your other older brother or sister because sometimes they create that information for your parents. And then of course, FAFSA on the web, security and privacy. You can click there to read more about that. So now I'm just going to go through each slide quickly. If needed, you can slow down. Don't feel pressured, but this is just an overview, and of course we're going to be available later on to help you as well. One great thing about the FAFSA is that there's a lot of built-in tools to help you. So if you see right here, this question mark where it says help, if you click there, there's a number of ways that you can receive help. You can actually call FAFSA, and I like the chat feature. Chat is so great, so you can click on chat, and it's also, you can actually just type your question in there, and then an agent will be with you. They respond to you, and you can have a conversation back and forth through that chat. The great part about that is at the end of the chat, you can print out your conversation and save it for later, and I like to do that. So here, it's going to already have your information listed for you, okay, from what you entered in the FSA ID, your social security number. You won't be able to change it because that's what you entered on your FSA ID. Your date of birth, here are you male or female, your permanent address. Here, it is so important that you enter the address that we have on file for you, that address from Infinite Campus. If you look at Infinite Campus and you see that the address that we have on file for you does not match the address that you're going to enter in here, you need to let us know right away. We're going to submit your Cal Grant GPA for you electronically, and we're going to submit with the name that we have on file for you in Infinite Campus, with the date of birth that we have on file for you, and the home address that we have on file for you. That is how the state is going to match your information for Cal Grant. If that information does not match because your home address is incorrect or you're going to use something else, they will not be able to match you for Cal Grant. So you need to let us know if the address on Infinite Campus does not match. We do not submit social security numbers to the state because we do not have your social security number. The schools are not allowed to ask for your social. So the state is going to match you by your name, your birth date, and the home address. That's what we're going to submit. Let us know if it's something different than what we have. Then you're going to go on to answer all the other questions here. Okay, and I just want to review with you, if you are an 18-year-old male student, you do need to register with Selective Services in order to receive financial aid, federal aid. Some students may have already registered when they received a driver's license, because you can register through the DMV or you can register through this application. If you're not sure, just go ahead and register with Selective Services through the FAFSA now. If you have any questions, see your counselor personally and we can help you. Now, also to let you know, anytime you click on any of these boxes, over here, you'll receive the help and hints. And if you see right here, this person has clicked in box 21. So here there's a helpful hint, and this will be specific to the box that you're clicked in. It's a great way to get extra help. Once you're done with each screen, you're just going to go to next. And as you're hitting next, it's actually saving your information. So here they're just going to make sure that you are eligible to be filling out the FAFSA. So it's going to ask you if you're a U.S. citizen. If not, you're going to mark the box if you're a legal resident or if you have another type of documentation. Are you registered with Selective Services? We just talked about that. For 18-year-old males, you can say, no, you're not registered. Register me here. When you begin college in 2017-2018 school year, you will have just completed your high school diploma and you will be attending college your first year. Even if you have AP credit or dual enrollment credit or you've gone to community college, for financial aid purposes, you are attending college for the first year. Here you're going to select what degree you're going to be working on, a 4-year degree, a 2-year degree, community college, career technical. It's okay if you're not sure. Fill this out to the best of your ability. Those are simple corrections that we can go in later on and make this year on which degree you're going to be completing. Are you interested in federal work study? I tell my students to say yes, because if you're eligible to work on campus, get a job that works around your hours, pays a little bit more than minimum wage, that would be a great opportunity for you. Now you're going to go on to answer the other questions, and then you're going to click next. Now it's going to ask you about the high school that you attended. Don't enter this information in Ridgewood Community High School. You're going to enter in Paloma Valley High School, located in Menifee, California. Once you enter in your high school's information, you're going to click on Confirm and then Next. So let me show you some of the built-in features from FAFSA. If you make an error, for example, you put in the name of the high school, the city of the high school, and then if you put in that it's in a foreign country, it's going to bring up this red flag, this error right here for you. So it's great that they have these built-in features. But again, before you submit your FAFSA, you can have one of us review it just to check for errors. Next, we move on to school selection. And this part, I've had a lot of students get confused about this. They try to enter in Paloma Valley High School's information, but this is the part where you're going to add up to 10 colleges. So you're going to let FAFSA, the federal government, and the state know where you plan on applying to college. So you can list up to 10 colleges here. You can search by the state, by the city that the college is located. Some of us don't know the city. For example, if you're going to do Cal State East Bay, it's not located in East Bay, it's located in Hayward, but you may not know that. So you can put in California, and then you can write in East Bay and hit search, and the name of the college will come up. You can click on the college and then add it. You can add up to 10 colleges. Do not be concerned if you have over 10 colleges and you can't add them all. Don't be concerned if later you apply to a college and you forgot to add it in FAFSA. Those are the simple corrections that you can come back in and make after the application has processed. You can come in and add schools, delete schools. You can put schools as number 1. So there's a lot of things that you can do there. So later on, you can come in here and you can move the colleges up or down in order of the ones that you want to be first, second, third, and again, you can do this later on. So once you've added your colleges, it's going to ask you about your housing plans, where you plan to live. Do you plan to live on campus, with a parent, off campus? They just want a general idea. Do not be worried again. If you put on campus and you change your mind later, or you put with parent, you change your mind later, that's okay. You can come in and correct this. Just because you write on campus, that doesn't mean that you've applied to live on campus. There's a separate application for housing through college. So once you've done this, you can go to next. So here we see that you've completed the student demographics, school selection. Now we're on to dependency information. And they're going to ask you a series of questions. So you can go through those and answer either yes or no. If you have a question about any of these, feel free to click on them. And then you can read the helpful hints on the right-hand side. If that still doesn't help you, make sure that you talk to your counselor. Now let me talk to you about dependency status. A lot of students do not want to enter their parents' information in, and some parents do not want to give their student their information, but it is required that you give your parents information if the following applies to you. If you are living with your parents, you need to enter in their information until your 24th birthday. The only way you would qualify to be a dependent student is if you are married, then you would need to enter in your spouse's information. If you have a child and you provide more than 50% of your income to support that child, that means you would be paying for rent, you would be buying groceries, paying for that baby's babysitter and everything for that baby. More than 50% of your income goes to support that child. But if you have a baby and you're living at home and your parents are paying the mortgage or the rent, buying groceries, then you still have to put your parents' information on there. If you do not live with mom or dad, you need to speak with your counselor. We can help you on how to fill this out. You will need to enter your parents' information if you are legally adopted. If you are not legally adopted and you're living with an aunt or uncle or a grandparent, they're not responsible for your education. You still have to put your parents' information in. If you are in foster care, you may be dependent. If you are a ward of the court, you may be dependent. If both of your parents are deceased or you're an emancipated minor, you may be dependent. Any questions about this, speak to your counselor. Everything will remain confidential. We will help you and support you through the entire process. So please make sure you talk to us, especially if any of these apply to you, because there are other programs that you may qualify for, and we want to make sure that we're giving you all of the information and all of our support. Most of you are going to be required to provide your parents' information. So you're going to click on I will provide my parent information and next. So your parents' information, whose information should you enter? If you live with both of your parents, even if they file taxes separately, you're still going to have to enter in both of your parents' information. If your parents are divorced, you're going to enter in the income information of the parent that you spend more than 50% of your time with. You're going to have to list that parent. And then you would only list one parent's income, the income of the parent that you spend more than 50% of your time with. If your parents are divorced and you are living, let's say, for example, with mom, and mom is legally remarried, you need to enter in mom's income and stepdad or mom's new husband's information. You will need to enter both of those. Or if you're living with dad, dad is remarried, you need to enter in dad's information and stepmom's information as well. Again, if you have a question on whose information to list, please speak with your counselor and we can let you know. So here's where you enter in parents' information. And again, be really careful with entering in Social Security information. Whatever is listed on your parents' Social Security card, that is their legal name. So once you've done that, you've entered in your parents' social, you've entered in the date of births and the information here, you're going to click on Next. Before we click on Next, let me just talk to you though about household size. I'm sorry. On household size, a lot of times you can find this on tax forms. So if you look at the first page of your parents' 1040 or 1040 EZ, line 6D, that's the number of dependents that your parents claimed on taxes. So you can enter in that number there. And that'll be, for example, dependents would be possibly mom, dad, you, siblings. So that's where that number is there. And again, you can find that on the tax information. So once we do this, we can see that we are almost done. Now we're on financial information. So it's going to ask you for 2015, have your parents completed their income tax? And you're going to say, yes, already completed. That's a great benefit for you that now that financial aid has opened up sooner, our parents have filed taxes because it was due April 15th of last year. So you can also find this information on your parents' tax information. It's going to show you if they filed single, head of household, married, filed joint return. That's on the first page of that 1040 or 1040 EZ or the form that they've filled out. So here it's going to ask you, did your parents file a form 1040X amended? Almost always, 100% of the time, that answer is going to be no. Okay, so some parents put yes on here. Some students put yes because they see 1040 or they see 1040 EZ, but this is the 1040X. It's very rare. So if you have any questions, check with your counselor. Most students are going to say no. They're going to say no that their parents did not file a Puerto Rican or foreign tax return. That's very rare. And then right here is where you're going to be able to click on link to the IRS, and we're going to be able to find all of your parents' information on that website, and we're going to be able to transfer it in, and it's going to fill out the rest of your application, and it's going to be accurate because it's coming directly from the federal website into your application, and it's just going to make your life easier, and it's going to speed up the process. But this is the part where your parents need to have an FSA ID. So if your parents do not have one, they need to create an FSA ID. If your parents already have one from an older brother or sister, then you're going to need to get that information from them to enter it in here. Once you click on link to the IRS, it's going to inform you that you're going to be leaving FAFSA because you're going to go to that federal website, the IRS website. So you're going to click on OK. Then you're going to get this message from the US government telling you that it's for authorized use only. Take a few minutes and read that, and then click OK. It's then going to take you to this information, and yours is going to say 2015 federal income tax return, and it's going to have your parents' information that filed that 1040 or 1040 EZ. You're going to see their first name, their last name, and then the last 4 digits of their social, their date of birth, and then it's going to show you how they filed. You're going to enter in the address, and it's going to be the address that they used when they filled out their federal taxes. So if that address is different from where you live now, that's okay. Enter in the address they used on their tax information. That's how they're going to match them. You're going to enter in that address, then you're going to enter in the city, the state, the zip code, and then you're going to click on submit. And then here we have it, success. You've been linked. They found your parents' 2015 federal income tax information. You'll see it all here. This is great. This is what we want. Then you're going to click down here where it says transfer my tax information into the FAFSA. So you're going to click there, and then you're going to click on transfer now, and it's going to populate the rest of your financial aid application. Once you do that, here it's in here. It says you have successfully transferred in your 2015 IRS tax information. It's all going to be filled out here for you, which is great. Now it is going to ask you some additional information that you're going to have to fill out. Most time you need to be sitting down with your parents. They're going to need to answer these questions. They're going to ask about some real estate, if your parents own anything, not your own home, but other homes, trust funds, money markets, mutual funds. You'll see everything listed here. And a lot of times students don't know about this. So your parents are the ones that need to know about this. They're not asking you to include money from 401k, pensions, annuities, and listed here. Here it's going to ask your parents some additional information. As you can see, we're still in the parent section. So it's going to ask about child support paid, taxable earnings, and you can go through and read. Your parents can go through and read and answer the questions. Here it's going to ask some questions about your parents' current balance of cash, savings, and checking accounts, and your parents are going to go through, answer these questions, and enter in the answers. And again, if they have any questions, they can click here on the box, and on the right-hand side, there's helpful hints to help them fill this out. Once your parents have done that, then it's going to come to your section, the student section. Now, a lot of students get confused because they'll come in here and say, Miss Solis, I've already filled this part out. And so we have to be careful. You did fill out your parents' portion, but now you need to fill out your portion. So here it's going to say for 2015, have you completed your tax return? Now, if you work and you file taxes, you're going to say already completed. Or if you don't work, you're just going to say will not file because you are not required to file if you do not work. Then you're going to go on to answer the questions. If you did file, you'll put in your tax information and you'll be able to link to the IRS just like we did with your parents' information. If you need to link your information to the IRS, you'll be able to do that by clicking on link to IRS. And of course, it's going to remind you that you're leaving the FAFSA website and linking to the IRS website. And you'll go through the same steps that we just showed you with your parents' IRS information and transferring that information into the financial aid. If you do not work and you said will not file, none of these screens will show up for you. So if you do not work and you've gone through the screen asking you about how much money you have in cash and savings or how much you earned this year, it's okay. You can put in 0. And then once you start working, then you'll be able to put in your information here if you do file taxes. So once you've done all of that, now we can see that we are on this sign and submit. You are almost done. So it's telling you that your application was successfully saved. They're asking you if you're a preparer. Are you a tax preparer? No, you're not. So you can enter in no. You're going to see your social, your name, date of birth. And in order to sign, this is where it's going to ask for your FSA ID information. That's how you're going to sign, and then you're going to agree. Once you do that, it'll show that it's been signed by you. If your parents have their FSA ID, then they will need to sign it also. All parents that are eligible to apply for an FSA ID must do so and file and sign electronically. So they will need to do this as well. If your parents do not have a social security number, but you do, you can still file a FAFSA. Under their social security information, they're going to enter in all zeros for their social. They will not be able to sign electronically because they are not able to create an FSA ID. But we can print the signature page, and we can do that at a later time. Don't worry, you can print your signature page, and then we can mail that in. I like to take the signature page to the post office and get some type of receipt showing that it was mailed in, because I like proof that my information's been mailed, and because they receive a lot of paper signatures, so that way you know the date you sent it in. If your parents are eligible for an FSA ID, they should not print the signature page and mail that in, because we want this to be done as soon as possible and accurately. If you have any questions about that, just see your counselor. Okay, and then we're just going to go over some of the common mistakes made on FAFSA, and that's leaving blank fields, using commas or decimal points, and then we talked, of course, about the incorrect social security number, entering in the wrong federal income tax information, but that's okay because now you get to link directly from the IRS, so we shouldn't have this problem. Listing your marital status incorrectly, listing your parents' marital status incorrectly, maybe saying that they're divorced and they're remarried, maybe saying that they're single. So just double check on all this information. Once you submit your application, you're going to get a notice saying that you've submitted, which is great. Congratulations. You're also going to get the estimated family contribution on the left-hand side. It's going to show EFC. That's the number that they believe your parents are going to need to come up with, the amount of money to contribute to your education. Don't be too concerned about that number just yet, though. Then on the right-hand side, it's going to give you a general estimate of how much money you can get in grants. That's just federal aid. That does not include state aid. We're going to talk about state aid later on. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email your counselor, talk to your counselor, come to our follow-up workshop, which will be on November 15th. And we're so excited that you started your financial aid application. We hope you finish it with no errors on time and that you receive one of those prizes.